You're listening to WTIM, your information station. It's time now for your expanded local news. The Taylorville City Council will meet on Monday evening at 7 p.m. for their second regular May meeting, where they will discuss ordinance, review committee reports, and will hear from the public, along with Taylorville Mayor Bruce Berry and the city attorney. June Aderman will also be recognized by the City Council. The council will also review and potentially approve ordinances concerning a master sales agreement with the Taylorville Development Association. They'll look at a proposal to furnish materials and approval of awards from Lewis Marsh for MFT Materials, a special events permit for the annual Old Timers Boogie at Mid-America Sport Parachute Club on August 15th, 16th, and 17th is also on the docket. The council will also look at an amendment for a water main replacement on 2024 South Main Street and a pay request for work on the Southwest Booster Pump House. Under committee reports, the council will look at a motion to a new trailer, a deck adapter, and salt spreader for the cemetery board's use. Under ordinance will be motions for a storm sewer ordinance amendment, a through the fence agreement, and BDD agreements between 311 South Main Street and 1141 East 1500 North Road. The council will hear from the public and adjourn until the next regular monthly meeting on June 2nd. Miller Media Group radio station WRAN Groovy 97.3's main transmitter took a lightning hit around 3:45 on Friday afternoon as a result of severe weather and thunderstorms that moved through the area. Station engineer John Masters reported the smell of burning electronic components inside the transmitter when he arrived on scene late Friday afternoon. As a result, the various modules and other parts that make the transmitter function are being taken to the manufacturer's factory in Quincy, Illinois for repair. And for the time being, WRAN is operating from a backup transmitter and antenna system that covers Christian County and the surrounding area. We appreciate your understanding while we work to get WRAN's main transmitter back up and on the air. It was a beautiful Saturday night on the Shelbyville High School football field when the community saw 84 of their high school seniors graduate. The commencement ceremony was broadcast live on Cruisin' 98.3 WSVZ. Principal Kyle Ladd was again master of ceremonies and introduced various speakers and announced the name of each graduating senior. But before that, Superintendent announced that Jack McClain was the Student of the Year Scholarship winner. Shelbyville High School's Sophia Lynch compared this year's graduates to a blooming flower.
We've faced storms, but we've also basked in the sunshine of moments of joy and achievement. Now, as we prepare to bloom into the next chapter of our lives, we are each becoming something new, unique, vibrant, and ready to spread our roots in directions we may have never imagined. But just as every flower's journey begins with its roots, let us take a moment to remember where we started and every element that has brought us here today.
Shelbyville High School's class of 2025 had 4 valedictorians, and each of them spoke. Tessa Kaler talked about the flame inside of each 2025 graduate.
It is because of this flame that we are able to receive the gift of a new beginning and a fresh start. With each hardship we face, our flame grew brighter and stronger as we learned the importance of perseverance, and it helped to pick ourselves back up when we crumbled to the ground. However, fire is very fragile. We have all learned that sometimes the flame can be too bright and too much to handle. We have felt burnout and exhaustion from the repeated cycles of high school. But here we are, stronger than ever, on the other side of the fire.
Adeline Lockhart spoke about the winds of life.
One of my favorite movies is Twisters. In this movie, the storm chasers try to track the tornadoes, but no one really knows exactly where it will hit or how strong it will become. Sometimes the winds in our own lives are strong, like tonight, and can pull you in directions you may not have expected. Other times, the wind is only a gentle breeze, and you must decide where to move. As we each start our own journey next year, we can feel confident in knowing that we will all be rooting for each other to land where we will thrive. Similar to the wind and air around us, our bonds can't always be seen, but they can be felt. I wish you all the best as we move forward into the bigger world, and I hope you remember that our possibilities have no limit, like the winds and air that we can always feel around us. And as Tyler Owens says in Twisters, if you feel it, chase it.
Jack McLean was another Shelbyville High School valedictorian and told graduates to remember where they came from.
To truly know who we are, we must remember where we came from. Without a clear beginning, the middle and the end are arbitrary. If we are to make something meaningful of this final stretch, we can't get lost in the pomp and the circumstance of it all. Was it worth it to be top of the class, to spend countless hours chasing the next grade or the next deadline? Perhaps. Perhaps not. In the long run, few will remember the rankings, the awards, or the resumes. What will matter is how we use this time to step into what's next. So take time to remember the good things, to reflect on how we all know more about each other than we probably should, and to learn who we truly are. May we ask God to guide our steps and to help us consider what He has in store.
And the fourth Shelbyville High School valedictorian was Lily Woolery. She told graduates they have the power to make a difference.
As we prepare to move on, we can say with confidence, we've done what we needed to do. We've learned, we've grown, and now it's time for our rivers to branch off, to flow onward to our next destination. Some of us may stay close to home, others may journey far, crossing new terrain. But no matter where the waterway takes you, know this, you have the power to make a difference and to make a name for yourself. Life moves forward, and while we'll always look back on our high school memories with fondness, it's time to follow the tide. We are no longer the small streams we once were. We've grown, deepened, and we're ready to meet the wide expanse of the ocean. So go, find your ocean, but never forget the little lake where you came from. Move forward with reflection, resilience, and pride as you carve your own path. Good luck, class of 2025.
The Shelbyville High School Band provided the traditional pomp and circumstance processional at the beginning of the ceremony, and the Bryce Canyon Overture when SHS seniors were led off of the football field as 2025 graduates. You can hear the entire WSVZ live broadcast of the Shelbyville High School graduation in this story on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. This will conclude the first portion of your expanded local news, which is brought to you by Taylorville Community Credit Union.
This is Will Perkins with Taylorville Community Credit Union. Are you looking for a great CD rate? If you are, TCCU has amazing rates from our 7-month special to our 60-month CD. If you are looking for a great investment, now is the time to put your money to work in a TCCU CD. Our minimum deposit is $1,000. For more information, please contact us at any of our convenient locations in Taylorville, Pana, Hillsborough, Litchfield, or online at tccu.org. Dividends will be compounded monthly. A penalty for early withdrawal may be imposed. Fees could reduce earnings on the account. Member NCUA.
The Lincoln Prairie Trail will receive a boost thanks to donations from Taylorville Memorial Hospital. The healthcare provider announced that it has donated a bench, a storage rack, and a repair station to the Lincoln Prairie Trails Conservancy for use on the trail. The repair station has also tools attached, including a tire pump and hooks. It will sit on a concrete slab, which is also part of the donation. Jay Bollinger, community health consultant for TMH, says he hopes the new equipment will be helpful for those who use the trail. The Lincoln Prairie Trail is a 14.6-mile asphalt trail which runs alongside Illinois Route 29 between Taylorville and Pana. The Taylorville Trailhead is at South Pawpaw Street, while the trailhead in Pana is at Magnolia Avenue. The city of Taylorville has decided to purchase the Taylorville Industrial Park, opening new doors to developers interested in Christian County. This comes after recently expanding the enterprise zone, benefiting businesses that already call the county home. The Christian County Economic Development Corporation has been spearheading multiple efforts to improve the local economy. Matt Hart is the executive director of the Christian County Economic Development Corporation, and he starts out by talking tariffs and their impact on our area establishments.
But a lot of discussion going on right now, primarily out of Washington, D.C., and a lot of just this we're calling the T word, right? And so, but I thought might help paint the picture of what does the impact of tariffs have on Christian County? What does it have on Taylorville and Assumption and Pana and Morrisonville and Edinburgh and Stonington? And because it does filter down, and really primarily in two ways. So Christian County obviously is a big ag community, right? One of our strongest businesses is what we grow in this beautiful weather, what we grow here, and what we ship out of here, and that's having an impact certainly on the ag community, but it also affects our manufacturing, and we've got great manufacturers here in Christian County. When you've got companies like GSI, you've got just folks all over Christian County who are making things, but you rely a lot of what you make here in Christian County. Some of that you rely on parts from overseas or inputs from overseas, or even inputs or parts from Canada or Mexico.
Hart knows that tariffs create trouble in the short term, but still hopes that they will cause potential future gains.
And it's left our local manufacturers then having to go to their customers because they can't guarantee prices,
Sure.
right? And so, and I know that I've heard from many of our manufacturers here in Christian County, and that's what they're currently navigating. They're talking to their customers, they're talking to the suppliers, and there are a lot of unknowns right now. Mm-hmm. And the good thing is those unknowns will be known in the next 30 to 60 days. But at the moment, they're unknown, and so it's a short-term blip in our economic production. But if it means that in the long term that we become a better place to manufacture and make things, that's a good thing.
Recently announced by the governor is a $1.2 million state grant, and it's headed to downtown Pana. Hart explains what the money will be getting used for.
Yeah, and Pana has, and again, nothing happens without a great effort and a lot of heavy lifting, and that's what's going on in Pana right now. A lot of local folks down there, including Nathan Pastor, the mayor, and Kirby Kasner, the head of economic development for Pana, the city of Pana. They have been working with other business leaders down there and getting things done, and they're starting to see that. And you've seen that with some improvements in downtown. You've seen that with the purchasing the theater that for a long time was an eyesore to some people and thought could be better utilized, and now that's becoming a place for the community to gather and to grow. And but then just a couple weeks ago, on April 22nd, the governor was in Jacksonville at the time, but announced a series of grants all across the state, and Pana is getting $1.2 million from the state of Illinois, and this will help them replace all of the water mains for their downtown business district, and it will also allow them to create an outdoor event space with restrooms that are suitable for handicapped folks, as well as outdoor seating.
Now that the city of Taylorville plans to purchase the industrial park, Hart believes all parties involved will benefit from the sale.
Yeah, so the Taylorville Commercial Industrial Park is the 46-acre site that is on the north side of Taylorville on Route 29. It's between Walmart and the Dodge dealership, Trinity Dodge. And that 46 acres was land that has been owned and developed by the Taylorville Development Association, which is a not-for-profit organization, actually, here in town that's been around for many, many years. And but the city and the TDA, Taylorville Development Association, began some negotiations and discussion, and it looks like the city is going to purchase that from the Taylorville Development Association. And again, it hasn't been finalized, but what that means is in 2025, when we talk about economic development, we have to build packages. We have to make things attractive. We have to have incentives for developers. And where we're at in 2025, one of the ways that a lot of other local communities are getting people to come to their town or grow their business, expand their business, is having the city, getting more involved. We've got the business development district already in Taylorville, and there's some things that have helped reinvest in Taylorville. And we think this will actually help improve the ability to attract and bring people to Taylorville.
Find out more about the Christian County Economic Development Corporation by visiting christiancountyedc.com. Matt Hart appeared as a guest on the WTIM Morning Show. This will conclude the second portion of your expanded local news, which is brought to you by CNB Bank and Trust.
In Taylorville, we know the value of getting more for your money, and at CNB Bank and Trust, our premium checking account delivers just that. Earn interest on your balance and unlock buzzing perks like local discounts, roadside assistance, and cell phone protection just for banking where you live. Stop by our Taylorville branch today and experience banking with extra benefits. CNB Bank and Trust, helping to open doors since 1854. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
A Henry County farmer testifies before the Senate Ag Committee. He did so last week in Washington. Megan Dwyer serves as Director of Conservation and Nutrient Stewardship for Illinois Corn. Dwyer is also a certified crop advisor. Some drought concerns are popping up in portions of Illinois, mainly in the northwest corner and the west central part of the state near Quincy, says meteorologist Paul Otto with Freeze Notice Weather. You can find the Drought Monitor at droughtmonitor.unl.edu. This will conclude this portion of your expanded local news, bringing us now to obituaries, which can be found at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com and are brought to you by Sutton Memorial Home.
When it comes to organizing your life, Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville has some words of advice. Consider pre-planning your funeral. The death of a loved one can be a traumatic event in people's lives, and you can spare your family the burden of planning a funeral when they are grieving. Sutton Memorial Home knows that establishing a pre-arrangement assures that important decisions and your personal selection are made in advance and spares your family an additional burden at their time of loss. Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. Caring is what they do best.
Moving now to obituaries, which can be found at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. 68-year-old Candace or Candy Law of Pana died on May 14th. Visitation is today, May 19th, from 5 p.m. until 7 p.m. at McCracken Dean Funeral Home in Pana. Funeral service will be May 20th at 10 a.m. at First Church of the Nazarene in Pana. Burial will be at Mound Cemetery. Funeral arrangements are being handled by McCracken Dean Funeral Home in Pana. Donald Carl Taylor of Maxwell, Iowa, formerly of Decatur, died on May 12th. Cremation rights have been accorded, and no services will be provided. Funeral arrangements are being handled by Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. "62-year-old Karen Hall Cox of Taylorville died on May 2nd. Cremation rights have been accorded, and arrangements will be made at a later date. Funeral arrangements are being handled by Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. And 97-year-old Dr. Robert Keith Etheridge of Taylorville died on May 1st. A celebration of life and a graveside service will be on May 31st at 4 p.m. at Oak Hill Cemetery in Taylorville. Funeral arrangements are being handled by Asali Funeral Home in Taylorville. Get details on these and other local news stories at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com or on WTIM. WTIM is your only local news radio.
This is Blaine.